The Los Angeles Chargers are starting to feel dangerous in a way people are not talking about enough. This is not just about one signing, or one headline, or one lucky offseason break. This is a team that won 11 games, has Justin Herbert at the center of everything, brought in Mike McDaniel to reshape the offense, and is getting Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt back into the picture. That is the kind of mix that can turn quiet hype into a real AFC threat, fast. What nobody is talking about enough is how complete this thing could start to look. Herbert already gives this team a chance every week, but now the offense has a new mind guiding it, and the defense still has teeth, with names like Derwin James Jr., Tuli Tuipulotu, and Teair Tart holding the line, while Chris O'Leary takes over for a group that was already one of the league's best. That is where the fear starts creeping in for the rest of the conference. Because when a playoff team stops thinking small and starts fixing real problems, the whole picture changes. But here's the twist. The most important part of this story was never the loudest part. For all the excitement around Herbert, the coaching changes, and a defense that already looked ready, there was still one weak point sitting right in the middle of the offense. And if the Chargers ignored it, all this momentum could have stalled before the season even started. Instead, they moved early, and that is where this story stops being exciting and starts becoming serious. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Chargers and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 500 likes on this video. The real problem in Los Angeles was not loud, but it was dangerous. The edges could still look strong with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, yet the middle of the line was starting to feel unstable. And that is where offenses get wrecked before people even understand why. When Bradley Bozeman retired, the Chargers did not just lose a starter, they lost the player who touched the ball first on every snap and helped keep the whole front connected. Then Mekhi Becton was released, and suddenly this was no longer a small cleanup job. It was a pressure point right in front of Justin Herbert. That is what made this moment so serious. A lot of fans look at tackles first because they are easier to notice, but interior breakdown is what kills rhythm, kills timing, and makes a quarterback feel heat before a route even has time to breathe. The Chargers already knew they were thin up front, and Joe Hortiz said as much when he admitted the line needed more numbers and more help. So this was not about chasing a shiny name or winning a headline. It was about stopping a real weakness from dragging the whole offense backward. And that is where the story gets sharper. Once the middle of your line becomes a real need, you are not shopping in peace anymore. You are racing every other desperate team that sees the same market opening up. The Chargers could have waited, could have let the crowd form, could have risked the price going wild. They did not. They saw the hole, they saw the timing, and they moved before the fight even got started, which is exactly why the next part of this story matters so much. This is where the Chargers stopped acting like a team waiting for free agency and started acting like a team hunting for an edge. Tyler Biadasz was not stuck in the normal line because Washington had already released him, which meant Los Angeles had a rare opening to act before the wider market exploded. That matters because the legal negotiating window for unrestricted free agents does not open until March 9th, with the new league year following on March 11th. The Chargers saw a chance to skip the crowd, and they took it. That is the part casual fans miss. Most teams wait, compare names, test the market, then get dragged into a price fight once everybody starts chasing the same few answers. The Chargers did the opposite. They grabbed a proven center on March 6th on a 3-year, $30 million deal before the usual frenzy could drive up pressure and noise around the position. When a front office gets a clean shot like that and lands the player fast, it tells you they knew exactly what they wanted. And the scary part for the rest of the AFC is that this was not some blind gamble on a random body. Los Angeles did not just jump early, they jumped early on a player with real starting history, real playoff experience, and a clear path to helping Justin Herbert right away. That is what makes this moment feel bigger than a normal signing. Because once you understand who Biadasz is and what he has already done in this league, the whole move starts looking even smarter. The Chargers did not just find a body for the middle of the line, They found a player who has already proven he belongs there. Tyler Biadasz is still only 28, but he has already started 84 of his 92 regular season games, made a Pro Bowl with Dallas in 2022, and played winning football in more than one system. That matters, because this move was never about grabbing a backup and hoping for the best. It was about bringing in someone who already knows what pressure feels like and already knows how to handle it. What makes this even stronger is that his story is not built on one hot month or one lucky stretch. In Washington, Tyler Biadasz started all 31 regular season games. He played across 2 seasons, then helped steady an offense that reached the NFC title game during Jaden Daniels' rookie season. Over those 2 years, the Chargers noted that Pro Football Focus credited him with more than 900 snaps in each season, only 4 sacks allowed, and no quarterback hits allowed. That is not hype. That is a center doing his job the way quarterbacks dream about, quietly, cleanly, and without turning every snap into a problem. But here's where this gets even more important for Los Angeles. Being proven is only half the story. Plenty of veterans have starts, plenty of veterans have awards. Plenty of veterans look good on paper. The question is whether Tyler Biadasz is the right kind of center for what this offense is about to become around Justin Herbert. And that is where this signing starts to look less like a safe move and more like a perfect match. The scary part of this move is not just that the Chargers found a better center, it is that they found one who lines up with exactly what Mike McDaniel wants to build. When McDaniel took the job, he made it clear his offense would bend around the players he has, and that matters because Justin Herbert is not some quarterback you squeeze into a template. He wants an offense that protects the quarterback, gets the ball out cleaner, and makes defenses cover more stress on every snap. That kind of plan needs a center who can think fast, move well, and keep the front tied together. And that is why Tyler Biadasz feels like more than a normal addition. Then you look at the people around him, and the picture gets even stronger. Butch Barry came over with years of direct history under Mike McDaniel, and the Chargers pointed out that their time together in Miami helped produce explosive offense and strong protection up front. That matters because scheme language, coaching detail, and line play all have to connect, especially in the middle, where everything starts. The same system trusted Aaron Brewer at center in Miami, and the Dolphins later said he played every snap in 2024 at a high level, so there's already a clear sign of what this staff values from that spot. Biadasz walks into that world with real experience, real command, and the kind of style that gives this coaching staff something to work with immediately. And now, the whole offense starts to feel more flexible. McDaniel has already talked about the value of tackles who can block in space, which makes the return of Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt even more important, and it opens the door for more variety with Omarion Hampton, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Trey Harris, and Oronde Gadsden. But none of that creativity matters if the middle falls apart. That is why this fit feels so dangerous, because the Chargers are not just adding talent, they are building the exact kind of front that lets McDaniel unlock his ideas. And once you see that, the next question gets even bigger. What? Because one smart fit at center can start changing what the entire offense looks like. The Los Angeles Chargers just gave their offense something it did not fully have before: peace in the middle. That changes everything for Justin Herbert, because a quarterback does his best work when the pocket feels clean from the inside out, not when the middle keeps leaking and every drop back feels rushed before it even begins. Now the picture starts to change. Herbert can play faster, the timing can tighten up, and the whole offense can breathe a little easier, knowing the snap, the call, and the protection are coming from a veteran who has done this at a high level. Then you look at who benefits around him, and the ripple gets bigger. The Chargers already know what they have in Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt on the outside, and the roster still gives Mike McDaniel plenty to work with through Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Omarion Hampton, Trey Harris, and Oronde Gadsden. That is where this gets dangerous, because once the center spot settles down, the offense can stop worrying so much about survival and start thinking about pressure, spacing, and how to make defenses choose what they want to lose first. And that is the twist that makes this move feel even smarter. When one weakness stops controlling the conversation, the front office gets to think bigger. Now the Chargers can look at guard, depth, and the rest of the roster without the same panic hanging over every decision. That is why this signing was never only about protection for Herbert. It was about giving Los Angeles more freedom in what comes next. And once you see that part clearly, the next question almost asks itself, because this was not just good football. It might have been smart business too. A lot of teams get cap space and lose their minds. The Chargers did not. Their own offseason primer said they were sitting on around $85 million in cap space, and current cap tracking now shows them with about $98 million in top 51 cap space, first in the NFL. That is what makes this move hit harder, because Los Angeles had the room to chase noise, chase headlines, and throw wild money around. Instead, they gave Tyler Biadasz a 3-year, $30 million deal and solved a real problem without turning one position into an expensive obsession. That matters because this roster still has other pressure points waiting. The Chargers entered the offseason with a long, free agent list that included names like Khalil Mack, Odafe Oweh, Zion Johnson, and Keenan Allen. So every dollar had to mean something. This was not cheap behavior, and it was not fear either. It was controlled spending. They paid for stability in front of Justin Herbert, kept the deal at a level they could live with, and protected their ability to keep shaping the roster after the first move landed. And that is where the deal starts to say something bigger about the franchise. Anybody can spend big when the market gets loud, but not every team knows when enough is enough. The Chargers chose timing, fit, and balance over ego. And that tells you this front office is trying to build something that lasts longer than one March headline. Once a signing starts revealing how a team thinks, it stops being only about money and starts becoming a clue about what kind of contender they believe they are ready to become. This move says the Chargers are done treating potential like it is enough. ESPN recently framed this offseason around one huge question. Can Mike McDaniel unlock more from Justin Herbert as he enters another season with a new play caller? The answer was never going to come from talk alone. Bringing in Tyler Biadasz tells you this team understands that if the middle of the offense stays shaky, none of the bigger dreams matter. It also reveals how Los Angeles wants to build when the pressure rises. Reuters reported that the Chargers pushed their available cap room to about $98 million after recent releases, then used part of that space on a focused 3-year, $30 million answer at center instead of chasing empty noise. That is not a desperate move. That is a team, choosing control, choosing structure, and choosing to protect the part of football that usually decides whether Justin Herbert is playing calm or playing under stress. And that is why this signing feels bigger than one name on the line. It suggests the Chargers believe the window is open right now, not someday, and that fixing weak spots around Herbert matters more than winning the loudest headline of March. When a franchise starts moving like that, the rest of the AFC has to pay attention, because this stops looking like a team hoping to improve and starts looking like a team preparing to matter when the season gets heavy.